let's go and get things started with the first big press conference, or not press conference, but their first big panel that they presented in here, which is the animation panel, which is dedicated to both Disney and Pixar. But first, I'm going to reveal everything that is shown on the Walt Disney Animation Studio side. And I'm just going to go and explain to you guys right now, there isn't anything that's too big that they really announced. This is not like last year where Disney Animation really went big and made like a whole bunch of announcements, like new projects and a lot of new details about what's going on in their movies. In here, the biggest thing that they really did announce is mostly what's going on inside Ralph Breaks the Internet Wreck-It Ralph 2. But even beforehand, John Lasseter would step in, and the first thing he would announce is actually a brand new movie. He revealed one of the upcoming projects, funny enough, not coming from either Walt Disney Animation Studios or Pixar, but this one is actually going to be from Disney Toon, which, if you may recall, Disney Toon is more the side animation studio, which beforehand they would do all those direct-to-DVD Disney films, and now they're pretty much stuck doing nothing but Tinkerbell and Planes. But apparently, they got a brand new movie that's going to be coming out on April of 2019, and so far, it's just a tentative title. It's not confirmed as it is, but apparently it's going to be called Disney's Space. So you might be wondering, what is Disney's Space? Well, the only thing that I can reveal to you that could probably give you a good idea of what it is that Space is a movie that will be set in the world of Cars. Yes, this is going to be the second spin-off film of Cars, right after Planes. And by the way, I'm going to be using my source here at comicbook.com for all the animation stuff, because they got all the animated things that did occur in that panel all in one page, so it's going to be easy for me to guide through. So going in here, apparently they did reveal a little bit of a clip. In the footage, in which John Lasseter calls it the speed test, an airplane part is crashed in the desert. Suddenly, a fighter jet zips into frame and across the desert. It's flying extremely low. Another jet joins in flight. They zip through canyons, through craters, and continue alongside one another. Getting close, we see the planes have eyes on their windows. They fly on the edge of the atmosphere, bordering space. A stealth bomber flies behind them and takes a shot, narrowly missing. And they then reveal the title, which is Disney Space. So that's pretty much all that we know about it, is that apparently this is a spin-off of Cars and it's going to be set in space. So basically we could be seeing just characters that are aspiring to go onto space and the moon and all that kind of stuff. But funny enough, when I first heard about this project, when they first revealed about Disney Space, I kind of feel like this is officially the moment where the Cars franchise just looked at the D23 audience and just said, "I have to go now. My planet needs me." And basically it. Now, there's nothing to do on Earth. They literally did everything they could on Earth, on the skies, and even around the globe, especially with Cars 2. So the only thing that they could really dominate is just space. And I know a lot of people are probably joking at this point, thinking, oh, what's next? Is it going to be boats? Is it going to be trains? You know, like pretty much the same old jokes that people have mentioned when Planes was actually released a few years ago. But, nah, I could pretty much think that I'm sure the people at Disney thought about making a movie either about trains or boats, but considering everybody made all those jokes about it, they decided to go, you know what? Nobody made a joke about us using spaceships. And why don't we bring the Cars franchise to that? We're just gonna go to freaking space. Which I guess even Disney agrees that the Cars franchise should no longer belong on Earth. They gotta throw it out into freaking space. But yeah, sadly, people, I just gotta say, I know a lot of them brought up their concerns saying that, oh, in that case, I do hope that they're just gonna release it on like direct to DVD and Blu-ray and stuff like that. No. This is officially going to be coming out in theaters on April 2019. So that's pretty much the next movie that's going to be coming out at that time. Okay, so with all that said, let's go straight into what Walt Disney Animation Studios brought up. And so far, they didn't really announce much. Like, the first thing that they brought in is actually going to be the animated short that's going to appear before Coco, which is Olaf's Frozen Adventure. And they mostly talked about what we already know and what we have seen in the trailer and all that kind of stuff. In fact, Kristen Bell actually came in and talked a little bit of what's going to be going on inside the movie. The only thing that they did reveal exclusively to the fans at D23 is that Josh Gad came in and he would actually sing his little piece that will appear in the animated short. So that's mostly what the D23 fans got. It's mostly Josh Gad singing in there. And that's pretty much it with Frozen Adventure. Again, if you guys are interested to check that out, then you have to wait until November when it's going to be released right before Coco. And moving right along, they also revealed what's going to be happening with Frozen 2. Now, at this point, though, they didn't really say a lot. Sadly, they didn't really go into details. They didn't really reveal any new characters. Unfortunately, they didn't even reveal any new clips. The most that they have showed is just a few clips of the filmmakers enjoying a little well, not really a vacation, but more of a business trip in Norway to do a whole bunch of research to really get the aesthetic right of the world of Frozen once again. And that's all they could pretty much say. They didn't even reveal much about some of the plot lines into it. So they're mostly reminding us that Frozen 2 is going to be coming out at the end of 2019. But John Lasseter did hint that there could be a possibility that the title could change. He did joke around a little bit that maybe Frozen 2 is not going to be the title. Like, apparently it could be called maybe Frozen Toe, or Thawed, or Frozen Solid, or Frozen Yogurt, or anything like that. So that's pretty much all that we got with Frozen. But the biggest piece of information that they did reveal is actually regarding Wreck-It Ralph 2. Specifically, as its full title, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. And in here, we actually do know a lot more of what's going on. Like, this is probably the biggest piece that fans have got at D23 in terms of what would be coming up for Walt Disney Animation Studios. Now, apparently, Sarah Silverman, who provided the voice of Vanellope von Schweetz, she came in and she actually described a little bit of what's going on in the story of Wreck-It Ralph 2, and she stated, "In our story, Vanellope's game Sugar Rush breaks, and Ralph and Vanellope have to travel into the internet and find a replacement part. It's the only way to save the game." So that's basically the main goal into this. And on top of that, Phil Johnston, who is going to be the co-director next to Rich Moore, he added, "As Ralph and Vanellope explore this massive universe, they're going to meet several new characters, including one who appears to be an expert of this massive universe." And that is actually the new character that they have introduced at D23. Now, this character is going to be called Yes, which is YESSS. And apparently she is an algorithm for the site Buzzaholic, of course a parody of BuzzFeed. And she will be voiced by Taraji P. Henson. And on top of that, probably the biggest highlight of the entire animation panel is that they actually had an exclusive clip for Wreck-It Ralph 2. Now, sadly, you cannot find this clip on the internet, which is ironic considering the title of Ralph Breaks the Internet, but they did actually reveal a little clip, and everybody was pretty much describing what is going on. And in the clip, it's mostly Ralph and Vanellope exploring all around the internet, and then suddenly they stumble upon a little section of Oh My Disney, which, if you guys know, Oh My Disney is the official blog of Disney, and in there, it's pretty much Cameo Palooza, and it really does fit. It really does fit with the theme of Wreck-It Ralph, considering that in the first movie, it's pretty much Cameo Palooza of all the video game characters, but in here, we got a whole bunch of random cameos from different Disney characters, including a few cameos of Marvel and from Star Wars. Like, there's going to be some Stormtroopers, C-3PO is going to appear, and also Stan Lee has a cameo. Like, this is not even a Marvel movie, yet Stan Lee finds his way to be in there. And the craziest thing is that this is not his first Disney movie that he makes a cameo. Like, if you guys remember at the end of Big Hero 6, I know that's a Marvel movie technically, but still, I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that nowadays. But anyways, going back into it, the biggest moment of that scene is that Vanellope decided to explore around Oh My Disney, and she actually met with all the Disney princesses. Now, that's apparently one of the biggest things about this, is that apparently all the Disney princesses will be in one section, and they're all gonna have a cameo. And not only that, but even their respective voice actresses will be returning from Ariel to Moana. Every single one actually makes a cameo in there. And without going into too many spoilers, the only thing that I have heard about that scene is that everybody's been saying that it was absolutely hilarious. Apparently there are tons of Disney in-jokes, and it is absolutely funny, which when I heard that, it actually did make me feel a lot more excited about Wreck-It Ralph 2. Now I am really curious to know what's going to be going on in that film. But that's basically the big thing that is going on. Now, rather, if we are going to see that in the finished product, we'll just have to wait and see, because keep in mind, as I am recording this, it's going to take more than a year for Wreck-It Ralph 2 to actually be released. Keep in mind, it's going to be out at the end of November of 2018, so there's still a lot of time for the story to change, for a lot of the animation to be made, so it's still in the middle of production. And on top of that, since we cannot see this footage anywhere, the only thing that we can see in terms of footage from Wreck-It Ralph 2 is that there is a little snippet where Vanellope and Ralph would enter into the internet. So that's basically all that Walt Disney Animation Studios has presented, and it's not necessarily that much of a surprise that they didn't really go up and beyond with all the announcements and the details and stuff like that. I'm sure with Frozen 2, it's a little too early to really go into details and to present what else is going to be happening in that movie, considering that that movie right over there, that's going to be released sometime at the end of 2019, so they can't really make any big announcements just yet. Maybe they will do a bit more during the next D23 EXPO in 2019, but now is not necessarily the right time. That, and also, when you do look at their schedule, we do know a lot of what's going to be to come. Like, the next one is going to be Wreck-It Ralph 2, which is coming out in at the end of 2018. And then after that is going to be Frozen 2 at the end of 2019. And then after that is going to be Gigantic at the end of 2020. Now, just to mention, though, they did not mention anything about Gigantic in this D23 EXPO, but there is a very high chance that, like, that movie will be the highlight of the next D23 EXPO. But yeah, that's basically the main thing that they really showed, and it did actually make me feel a lot more excited for what they got for Wreck-It Ralph 2. Okay, so for our next list of announcements, do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because in here, we are still staying in the animation panel, because keep in mind, it's not just for all the Walt Disney Animation Studio stuff, but it's also for all the Pixar stuff. So just sit on tight, and let me explain to you now. Since we've already covered all the Disney animation stuff, let's jump right into Pixar. And right over there, may I say that Pixar probably made a lot more announcements with Disney, because not only did they reveal some more information of what's going on in their feature films, but they've also made some huge announcements for their upcoming projects. But I will say right now, though, that they're not necessarily going completely in the order of the release dates, because in here they actually started with Incredibles 2, and then they ended things off with Coco. So, with all that said, though, let's get on to probably the most anticipated animated sequel of all time, The Incredibles 2, which that one will be coming out in the summer of 2018. And Brad Bird took center stage to pretty much reveal a lot more information of what's going on in that movie. And one of the big things that he did reveal is actually the movie will pretty much start off directly where the first movie ended. Now, if you may remember in the first Incredibles, the movie ended off where everybody is happy that Dash won second place, or that Dash did the race and all that kind of stuff. But then suddenly the Underminer came in to wreak havoc across the city. And then we see the Incredibles to go out. They're going to reveal their Incredibles logo shirts, and then they're going to go and fight crime. So the Incredibles 2 is going to immediately start off where the first Incredibles left off. And on top of that, Brad Bird also did reveal that many of the original cast is going to be coming back, including Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, who else? Sarah Mount as Violet, and also Samuel Jackson. The only one who's not coming back is, of course, the voice of Dash, because, well, you know, puberty and all that kind of stuff, which now his new voice is going to be Huck Milner. And in here, interestingly enough, Brad Bird actually revealed that in this movie, it's actually going to be Elastigirl that's going to take center stage. Like, the movie will be more about her, while at the same time they're looking into Jack Jack, and mostly upon the family's discovery that Jack Jack actually has some superpowers. And, hold on a sec. There is a little plot line that they did reveal. Okay, yeah. It's stated right over here. There is an issue with the family's house. So the family has to get a new house. As you can see, it's kind of a cross between a dream house and a super lair, a secret agent's house or something. Water flows throughout the whole building, and it's made almost entirely out of sharp corners, which is not ideal for a baby. So, like I said before, the movie will be a little bit more about Elastigirl's side of the story, while also the family trying to discover Jack Jack. So it's more about those two characters right over there. But on top of that, they also revealed an exclusive clip to the D23 fans, just like what Wreck-It Ralph 2 did. And in here, it's mostly Bob and Jack Jack just relaxing, and they're just watching TV. And the big moment of that scene, it's supposed to be like this big pivotal moment for The Incredibles 2, where Bob would actually discover Jack Jack's powers when Jack Jack decided to look outside and to go fight off against a raccoon. And that's where Mr. Incredible becomes so excited that, oh my god, Jack Jack has powers. So that's mostly all that we revealed. They didn't go into the specifics of the plot, but that's all that we really know. We don't know any new characters that are going to be in there. We know that almost all the original cast is going to come back. And we know that the movie will be more about Elastigirl and Jack Jack. So hopefully we will see a lot more of the crime-fighting action that we all know and love from The Incredibles. Or at the very least, we really do hope that Incredibles 2 will be on the same levels as the first Incredibles, so we can have an absolutely phenomenal sequel. I don't think they've had such an amazing sequel since Toy Story 3. I mean, yeah, Finding Dory is great, but Toy Story 3 is like on a level of its freaking own. Like, it's equally as good as like many of the other Pixar films that really made that legendary reputation that Pixar has. So yeah, The Incredibles 2, that one is going to be coming out in the summer of 2018. So mark your calendars on that. But then they also talked a little bit about Toy Story 4, which that one is going to be coming out in 2019. Now, I'm just going to say right now, they didn't really reveal that much about what's happening in Toy Story 4. If anything, it's a little bit like how Disney Animation presented Frozen 2. They didn't reveal too much information about it. All they did is that they revealed a little clip of what's going on inside Pixar Studios and everybody making it. And also, they did reveal a brand new character called Lulu. But there is one big bombshell that they did reveal about this movie, is that John Lasseter is not directing the film. He's only going to be an executive producer, which means Josh Cooley is going to be the solo director and is going to be working with the original Toy Story crew in order to go and create Toy Story 4. So there really isn't much to say right over here, but the only thing I can say is just I wish Josh Cooley the best of luck to go and direct Toy Story 4. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention is that they also showed a little clip of the first ever recording, well, like the voice recording for Toy Story 4, which all it is apparently just someone being one of the voices of the aliens just going, "Ooh." And literally that's it. So yeah, we don't know much about Toy Story 4, but we know that Josh Cooley is going to be the sole director. But then there is a much bigger bombshell. Now, if you think that it is pretty big that Toy Story 4 now has a new director on its title, which we originally thought, like, okay, the big thing is going to be John Lasseter directing it, but no, it's now going to be Josh Cooley. But no, this is actually much bigger, where Pixar actually revealed what's going to be their next upcoming animated feature, which could be coming out either in 2020 or in 2021. And this is going to be from the same people that made Monsters University, with Dan Scanlon as the director. And we don't know the title yet, but apparently it's going to be a movie set in a suburban fantasy world. And we don't really know too much about the story, but Dan Scanlon actually did reveal something very personal, which would tie in a little bit of what the story will be about. He actually stated, "This film is based on a very personal story of mine. A relative sent us an audio tape that they thought might have our father's voice on it." And keep in mind that Dan Scanlon's father unfortunately passed away when Dan was at a very young age. So with that said, apparently in that tape, he actually did hear the voice of his dad saying hi and bye, or at least the person that they believed to be his dad. So that was pretty much a big pivotal point for his idea that he wanted to do, and it just became the blueprints of what he wanted to do for his own feature film. And what he pretty much means by a suburban fantasy world is that this is going to be a film that will be a mix of the fantasy and the everyday. Dan actually stated, "In this world, there are no humans. There are just elves, troll sprites, and pretty much anything that would be on the side of the van in the 70s. And there are unicorns everywhere." And I just want to say right now, apparently, going into details of what he meant in there is that apparently unicorns are actually not viewed highly in this movie right over here. Unicorns are actually the equivalent of rats in this movie right over here. So, like, if they if they go and put on the TV and they saw Twilight Sparkle, they'll pretty much look at her equivalently as we would see Rizzo the Rat in the Muppets. But anyways, going back into this quote, and there are unicorns everywhere. In this film, we are going to tell the story of two teenage brothers whose father died when they were too young to remember him. And also going a little bit into the details of the concept of it, because it actually is really interesting, where apparently in this world, magic does exist, but people don't really do it because apparently it's way too hard. It's mainly because modern technology came in, like microwaves and television and computers and all that kind of stuff. They pretty much entered the scene. Actually, oh, there is a quote saying this. Never mind. The film sees a world where machines took over the place of magic, with stoves, microwaves, and others replacing them. So basically, doing magic is kind of like the hard labor of this world, and so this technology came in to pretty much replace the magic. And it actually is pretty interesting, but like I said before, we don't really know a specific release date for it. John Lasseter didn't really mention if this is going to be released either in 2020 or in 2021. There is a very high chance that it could be out in 2020 if everything is well with the release dates and everything like that. So we'll just have to wait and see, but maybe this could turn out great. Who knows? But honestly, this concept does sound rather intriguing. And finally, the whole animation panel, and with Pixar, it pretty much ended off by talking about Coco. And in here, they did reveal a couple more clips onto what's pretty much going on in the feature film, on top of seeing an early animation test for the main character Miguel, and then there would be another scene, where was it? Yeah, just gotta switch on to my source here on Inside the Magic, because they did actually explain a bit more about what's gonna be going on. Okay, yeah. No, wait, no, that's not it. Where would it be? Oh, where have my little source go? Oh, where the fridge can it be? Okay, yeah. It says here that Miguel crosses the bridge of the land of the dead, a world unlike anything else seen before, or, no, that's not it. Or, okay, no, there it is, I found it, okay, here it is, okay, there we go. Okay, a clip shown at the event includes the lead character Miguel, voiced by Benjamin Bratt, pursuing his dream of playing guitar, and Miguel exploring the land of the dead. So that's what D23 fans got. They've seen a little bit more clips of what's going to be going on in Coco. But on top of that, apparently the grand finale, that, like, the ultimate send-off of this panel, is that they actually played the main song of this movie, which is going to be called Remember Me. And that is actually done by the songwriters of Frozen, Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez. And it even said the Coco presentation wrapped up with a live performance of Remember Me with Bratt and a mariachi band on stage as Mexican garb dancers filled the aisles with orange confetti falling from the ceiling. So that's pretty much the main thing. Like, they showed some exclusive clips of Coco to the D23 fans, and on top of that, they actually did reveal the main song is going to be Remember Me by Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez. So it's going to be pretty interesting what's going to happen. I know a lot of people are not necessarily as excited right now about Coco, but I'm still going to be rather optimistic because, let's be honest, Disney's marketing team, when it comes to making trailers and stuff like that, they're not usually that great. The movie ends up being a lot better than what they're showing in the freaking trailers anyways. So who knows how it's going to go, but yeah, that's basically the entire presentation that Disney has done for their animation panel. And I have to say that on Pixar's side, yeah, they definitely did reveal a lot more interesting stuff right over here. They did reveal a lot more with what's to come with The Incredibles, which I'm sure the hype is going to be definitely real on this one. I know a lot of people are going to be excited about it. And on top of that, they did hint out about what's going to be to come with many of their other films. on top of making huge announcements like with Coco, Toy Story 4, and also the unannounced movie that's going to be like this suburban fantasy film. So Pixar definitely did do a stronger presentation than Disney, but with Disney it is understandable. But yeah, that's basically the whole news that we got with animation. So let's see how it goes with Disney's future in animation.